Okay, camera issues. Starting with the tomatoes. We have some blueberry, some Black Beauty and some blueberry clackamas, and some Paul Robeson, fire feathers, and Black Beauties growing here. So this is the new bed that I'm trying out with the tomatoes. They get a pretty good amount of morning sun once the morning sun gets higher up. And this is some Ogden cantaloupe that I'm trying to grow up this fence here. And here is another 16-foot row of tomato plants. The tomato plant on the end is supposed to be a fire feather, but I'm not sure that's what it is because the shape of the fruit is wrong. It's got a beefsteak type shape to it. But you can see it's just loaded with them. And then next door I got a Black Beauty, which you can see. It's got some pretty decent size fruits on it. And then there's a Paul Robeson growing right here. Kellogg's Breakfast. It's a little cooler again today. We've been having some back and forth cooler and wet weather. So once this gets behind us, these tomato plants will really start shining out here. This is the store Roma that I saved seeds from a store tomato a couple of years ago. My second year growing seeds off that one tomato, and it is just absolutely wonderful tomato, exactly like the store tomato that I've purchased. Perfect clusters of perfect size Roma tomatoes. And then this is the yellow Kellogg's Breakfast. No fruits on it yet. It takes a little longer, I guess, to set fruit than some of the others. And then this is a beefsteak. So over here in my 4x8 bed, I have ripped up all of my oldest broccoli, and I've been feeding it to my mama rabbits, and I got a little bit left in here. Growing some lima beans, some Christmas limas on this side. There's a couple of rattlesnake beans I've thrown in there, and then I have yellow onions in the back, and then I have a pepper plant, which I believe is a Scotch bonnet, and then a amethyst eggplant, which has been growing in there since last year. And then there's my key lime tree. He is got a lot of buds on him. And then coming around to this corner bed, still have my royalty purple that I've been picking in my golden wax bush beans, and my Romanesco broccoli. You can see my little marble peas are gone from the back. I harvested all of them. That little row gave me about 2 pints of shelled peas, and I really loved the experience. I love the peas. They did so well. They were just so perfect. They didn't have any bugs or disease or anything, and they were really large peas in the pods. Really consistent. So in the fall, I'll be planting a bunch of those. And then my beets didn't do anything. And then I've already ripped these beets outside, and what I'm going to plant here, probably some purple whole peas. And then here is another place. I have a few carrots that germinated, but I'm probably going to be planting the rest of that with purple whole peas. A couple more of the Romanesco broccoli. And then here's some cauliflower I'm going to rip out because it's too late for cauliflower and it's getting too hot. They're not going to do anything. Got some sunflowers growing up the side, and I got my bed of carrots that I planted probably in February or March. I planted this little bed of carrots right here. Got a little nasturtium growing right here, and then I have this bed in the front. Finally finished doing this. I've got a bunch of buckets of peas that I've germinating peas right here to transplant out. And in here I got a chocolate stripe and a Rutgers, and the Rutgers is still small, but it's got a little tomato on it. And then I have some Clemson spineless okra growing in front of those. And I have a Napa Chardonnay, a climbing triple crop, and a Juliet. And then in this tire, I have some Rutgers. Both of those are Rutgers. And then in this little planter, I'm germinating Dimple Brown Crowder peas. So I haven't grown those before. So looking forward to trying a new shell pea. And I've got purple hulls germinating in here. And then back here, I've got more triple crop, an Abe Lincoln, a Dr. Witchy, and another triple crop growing there. And I wanted to grow those next to this fence so they would get plenty of sunlight and I would be able to vine them on the fence, because I haven't grown those before, but I've pretty much read and heard that they are a very viney plant. So I've got some Clemson spineless, a Bubba Bush hybrid okra growing here, and then interplanted are Vidalia onions. And in my little bump out where I had the beets, I've picked the beets. I didn't do very good with the beets this year, but I got a few. Sometimes they do good, sometimes things don't do so good. But I've planted purple hull peas in here. And there's a few Mississippi peas in there as well. This is a yellow bell pepper. And then this is speckled butter peas that I'm trying to germinate here. And some more purple hulls. So if you can see a perspective, that is the bed that used to be 2 rows of tires. Now it's a long bed, and it's got 3 bump outs. It's got 2 tires as a bump out and this little bump out bed here. Kind of hard to see that because I have all my peas germinating right here, but that is what that bed is going to be this year. Right now it's got tomatoes, okra, and Vidalia onions. And then in this little bump out here, we're growing peas. I'm going to be putting peas back there in that bed where the broccoli is, the Romanesco broccoli. And then I just have one more little thing that I didn't show you. I have a little area right here. So I got a Juliet tomato growing right here, and then I have a little row of containers. This is my zucchini squash growing in this barrel. I don't have anything planted in this tire yet. And then I have some California Wonders and purple jalapenos growing here. And you can see the California Wonder has the white flower. And then you go over here and you see the purple jalapeno with the purple flower. So I've never grown purple jalapenos before, so that's exciting. I love jalapenos. I love making pickled jalapenos, and I love making cowboy candy. And here's our asparagus bed. We've been growing it for a while. Years and years, actually, probably close to 6 or 7. And you can see some asparagus popping up, and if I can catch them when they pop up, there ain't many growing in here. I want to plant some more, and I definitely want to get a bigger spot to dedicate to the asparagus year round. But once I catch them popping up out of the ground, I'll pick them and eat them pretty much right out of the garden. And then there is my cranberry, one of my cranberry hibiscus plants coming back, and another banana pepper. And right here, I have our Satsuma orange. So I'm just going to go over here and pan so you can see the whole garden and how it looks. It's getting exciting. It's still not totally jungle-ified like it will be in the next month. So it's still kind of tidy, but we're definitely transitioning from the spring over to the full-on summer garden. with our cucumbers and our tomatoes and corn and okra and squash. So this bed here just has broccoli in it. So I'll be finishing ripping out this bed and replanting it with okra and tomatoes, and figuring out where I'm going to plant my sweet potatoes and another bed of tomatillos. There's my carrots and onions, tomatillos, tomatoes, beans, peas. Got lots of peas to transplant. I didn't grow very many peas last year because I was so doing so much time in infrastructure and trying so many new things and really getting revved up in the garden. And I always grow purple hull peas and lima beans and speckled butter peas every year, and they kind of just went by the wayside a little bit last year, but I'm officially out of peas in my freezer. So hopefully this year we'll get a bunch of lima beans and Holland peas. See, my squash are back there, my spaghetti squash and my acorn squash are all back there in the back. And then my grapevines are in the middle. And then I have one of my tomato areas in that back corner. And I have a raised bed there, a little seating area. And then my center beds. And then you can see I have my tomato plants, my 2 big long rows of tomato plants, and my cantaloupe growing on that wall back there next to my chicken pen. So things are growing, getting amped up to be doing a lot of canning. Alright, I'm gonna wrap it up. Hopefully be able to do another update in a couple weeks and show you the finished product of the transitioning over to the summer garden, and hopefully be able to show some ripe tomatoes. A lot more tomato plants and life springing. If this cool weather and rain will get out of here and we can start having some warmer, sunnier weather. Alright, talk to you later.